There is no sound or meaning. The world is dead. A ghost of nightmarish reality. Prepare for the violent new orbit that spins in the shadows of one human eye. Unused limbs, the sight of things missing. I would like to shake off the maddening limitations of time and space and sanity, so that all the rules of matter and perspective may unhinged and perish. I might even choose to walk the hellish track of the living dead. Perhaps they alone have conquered the secret I search for. A dying man aware of his approaching death is perhaps the only man truly living. Why I surround myself with symbols of death.
Good evening, Athens. This is Zach Shaw coming to you from my home here in New Hampshire on the east coast of the United States. I'd like to start off by thanking all of you for coming out this evening to help us launch the new book of Rozz Williams' poetry and What About the Bells. We all really appreciate the support. I'd especially like to thank my dear friend Ryan Wildstar for putting this whole thing together. When he asked me to interview him for the book and to pen the foreword, it was an immense honor. I'm completely blessed to have been given this opportunity, so a big thank you to him. I'm actually going to be reading two different pieces for you this evening, one of which is quite short, so I picked a longer one to help balance it out a little bit, but I hope you enjoy hearing them as much as I enjoy reading them. But I can't start without thanking Rozz, wherever he may be, for allowing me to be part of his world. It certainly means a lot to me. So, thank you all once more. And without further ado, we'll get started. Beauty blinds me, sickens me, so that I empty my belly. Pit of vulgarity, for beauty, like disease, spreads. Grows like a tumor in the breast of pleasure, is accepted like a cursed crown on the head of a corpse, displayed in its most precious jewels. Beauty is false on a liar's tongue. Only in truth does it unfold in the pages of my dreams, where it becomes more beautiful than the word scrawled on the face of a scar. We are allowing ourselves to lie to ourselves and others every minute of our lives. We are allowing time to be stolen from us. Every moment stolen is a lie. Seems pointless, doesn't it? We are wasting our time with entertainment, with media, with overwhelming oppression of our molded everyday lives, molds which we have cast and allow ourselves to hold on to for dear life. We do not play. We do not participate. We do not move. We lay stagnant and lifeless. We are digging our own graves with smiles on our faces. We are burning ourselves with the poisons of reality. You have a head. Use it. Our bodies are made for movement, yet we lay paralyzed. Crutches must be destroyed, no longer needed. Another day, another hour, minutes pass. Laughter should, and is capable of, ringing, tearing through the walls we have assembled around us. Someday.
Desperate ritual. Desperate ritual. Careless words. Death must be a whisper away. Understanding sickness, we chose a method of attack by seduction. Those seduced are surely placid souls, our own shadows. By definition, I could explain my loss as a loss of expression. 7 years bad luck. Each time I pass the mirror, I fear the man behind the mask. Careless ritual, desperate words. Death is but a whisper away.
Hello, Athens. This is Omewenne. Cavity, ashes and hot earth, dead person's spirit. There is no pleasure spot in bondage. I've been there for 10 years, unseated, performed as a tea party, never ending. I can't help staring, mouth to mouth, roasted on the spot. The rest you can find in newspapers, garbage. Despite what you may have heard, people get killed.
Hello, Athens. I am Doriandra, and this is my old aphrodisiac with pitted cherries. The crocodiles file by so slow and whisper in the ear of a rose who snaps photographs of the ocean in the gray morning of centurions. Those who say we are nothing more than God's creation have no noses to speak of, and will live with the ostrich in heaven's sand. But the xylophone will sing at the prisoner's ball and waltz with zebras in the intimate streets of desire, for the convict's only dances when let loose on the world. Untitled. Like the moon, she bathes her hair in a river of light, beauty held in her arms like a doll. Like the night, she wears a strange face, as dark as the sun. Night is a changeling, cast out the morning. She sits in rows of summer gardens, breeding hosts to burning angels, ashes to the minds of strangers. But love hides there for me.
Kalispera, Athens. Good evening. And Ryan Wildstar, thank you so much for letting us join you on this incredible achievement, the translation and curation of Rozz Williams' poetry. As I know, Rozz entrusted his artistic legacy to you, and you've just done a bang-up job. So congratulations, and thank you so much for inviting us to participate. My name's Jennifer. This is my partner, Bucky. We are recording this from our home in Los Angeles, East LA. We've got our dogs in here, and we're going to read some poems for you today. So just to let you know, if you're wondering who I am, I met Eric, Ryan, and that is Eric Christides, Ryan Gomer, as he was known then, and we all met at community college, and that guy too. He was there. It's kind of crazy. And we were massive Shadow Project fans. Of course, we had loved Chris to death. And then when Shadow Project started playing around LA, we just followed them everywhere. We pestered them constantly. We called ourselves the kids from hell. And eventually we finagled a way to meet Raz and Eva and Paris. And from the moment we all met, it was love at first sight. We all spent pretty much the next 8 years together. We called ourselves a family. Very stupid and obvious Manson reference. And we were just as close as you could be. As some people know, I don't know if you know, Eric Christides died of a heroin overdose in November of 97. And that essentially shattered all of us apart. There were a lot of other things going on, but that was kind of the catalyst. None of us were really surprised when Rozz took his life 6 months later. Anyway, I miss Eric every day. I think of him and Rozz almost every day. And today I'm going to be reading a poem that Rozz wrote for Eric shortly after he died, as well as a couple of other pieces. So again, thanks for having us. And Bucky, why don't you tell us what your connection to Rozz and Christian death is?
Yeah, well, I found out about the Christian death and Rozz's work because of Jennifer, and I was hanging out at her house when I was 19 years old, and she said, "Have you heard of this band?" And this is her putting the record on the record player, you know, and that's how you found out about cool stuff in the 80s. Someone had to show you, someone had to share it with you, and it's been very much in that part of my brain, you know, of just that early days of like not knowing anything and finding out all your favorite things, your favorite films and your favorite bands and your favorite books. It's all within like those first few years. Like I moved to LA out of the Midwest knowing nothing and just wanted desperately to find out about worlds of art and subculture that I just hadn't had access to. And so it's there nestled in those memories of just those first years of finding out all the cool things.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys, he was too modest to mention it. Bucky is actually a very well-renowned poet and published author. He's written several books of poetry, as well as a couple of novels. They're amazing, not just saying that, but he's going to read a poem as well. So again, thanks for having us. Enjoy. Thanks.
Yeah.
This is Nothing by Rozz Williams. Bring me a voice different from the others, a cruel smile with strong legs emblazoned in scabs of ink, a world I merely enter as wanderer, an adult guiding the child on its first step, hands ready to shove at the first uncertain move, no wasted movements on the clock. In direct conveyance of divine power, insomniac moon, and my exhausted darling sleeps with an unconscious hand upon me. Red roses signifying love, hate, and aphids. I can feel the twisting black strength of my head, with its swollen belly and dead eyes, which at night shatters hidden light into the colored crystal fragments amid an atmosphere of imitation luxury. I look sadly at those transparent hands and get quickly out of bed, too easy to turn heaven, whenever we lose what delighted us on earth, for death interests only the dead, and I am of that future planet. This is The Fiddle Played On While Burning for Eric Christides, 1997, written by Rozz Williams. No love lost, forgotten at any cost. This dream will never fade. Raid the gates of heaven, and love shall meet you there. Wings, my child, wings, always belong to you. The fiddle played on while burning. There is more like it left in the bowl, a mouthful, soon to be sick. This servant of God crying and known to fulfill insolent tempers. A city in which we live dreams. Triumph on the back of this steer, climb higher. Let the sun shine down on them. Let the sun shine down on them. As all mortals perish, sleep in peace. We are amateurs, water in your hands.
This is called In the Other Flesh. In the other flesh, inscriptions of blood desperately attempt to disclose the truth, bearing the heart of our downfall. Roaring gods of pleasure, flowered with greatness, shall have no end. Their eyes are directed toward the flame. In the world of spirit, good and evil balanced no longer need for dark secrets. Spoken tongues which are forked, they shall be torn from the mouth of lies. This vision shall become reality in the mind of a diamond divided from a society of shame.
Good evening, my name is John Collins and I come from sunny Scotland. I helped to mastermind the premature ejaculation lost recording series. Much of the music on those CDs came from cassettes that I acquired from Ryan Gormer. I also understand that Ryan's going to include a couple of the photographs I took during the Dream Home Heartache tour in the book and What About the Bells. I've been a firm fan and collector since 1988, and two of my most prized possessions are the Crown of Thorns, which I obtained from Ace Farren Ford. They are real, and they do hurt when you have a bald head like mine. And also Rozz Williams' journal from the Only Theatre Pain period. Tonight, I will be reading you Confessions of a Blind Man. I walked past the piles of teeth and hair and splintered wooden fingers to a field of marigolds where nameless friends sleep beneath a blanket of soil. My eyes circled the perimeter, catching a glimpse of a man in his coat of arms. "The atrocity general is dead," he cried. "The perversity auditorium has crumbled. The catastrophe valley is our last remaining hope." His feet removed, he stood, an angelic amputee, a child with no bones. Carnival, carnival, a carnival of scenes. Send in the clowns, trained seals, and sideshow freaks. Send in mothers with bleeding possessions, dying fathers, and Indian warriors. Bring us liquor, mirrors, and shields. Carnival, carnival, a carnival of screams. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Okay, bye-bye.
Untitled. Silently I rest a glance upon your furrowed brow, and I know somehow that this will take us where we need to go. Past alleyways and lonely roads that seem to overflow with venom, rich in fury, broken hearts that bleed with seeds of pain that we've already sown. And I'm but a player who has been dealt a vicious hand. All the cards are marked in favor of some other fortunate man. I've been playing at the same old game for I don't know how long. But if you would come and save me, I could write another song.
Greetings to Athens. I'm Mar Richardson, heralding from Barcelona, Spain. I'd like to thank Ryan for tapping me on the shoulder to read some of the works of Rozz Williams. And one particular piece stood out to me, one that was available. I'd like to say that Rozz and I both had different paths, which did not cross often, but when they did, when I was with him, he was someone who paid attention to me in a way that made me feel like I was inviting him into my world. And I think to myself, how the fuck do you do that? And I don't wonder about it anymore. So I would especially like to thank Rozz, wherever he is, everywhere, for writing this piece that I'm going to recite. Well, read. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do.
Saw dust. He had changed his teeth. Lips off. Spit on the floor. Arranged features into a bored mask. Strands of hair waving. And preservative. Massive front doors, always open, knee-deep in iris, and blood red, the fold of his eyes. He awoke that night, crying out, knowing his life was in danger. Wild-eyed, his face filled with frenzy. What is it like to be dead? Fugitive tremors ran through his limbs, bloated face and mouthpiece, torso shrank, twisted. He draws a breath, voices his thought. Low as a sea urchin, a near empty terminal, devoid of life. Voice oddly disjointed, invokes the unknown men. Un grattacielo tenuto s'aibas, de una corona di bayonet. Black, in endless pacing. A little cry of pain. Was he born a widow? Walking with us now? Disemboweled remains of jackal and of child. A mind hung in echo. Wide eyes. Saw dust.
Soul of dirt. An awakening of chaos through the womb. My brain against a wall, against my will. In the heat of sleep and lives lost too soon, I lament. Twisted mind, soul of dirt. Tears hidden within dull content. A voice echoes through the land of mind fear. Hope will soon fall. Wasted fingers torn from fear, beating the retreat. Unconscious recognition of the ego. Mother, fucker. At last the tongue achieves the dialect. Now we may speak in knowing pinpricks. We who know the lingo, logos, screw you all. Me and I, and any ear that hears it. There is no time for eternity. Soul of Dirt by Rozz Williams, from the book And What About the Bells. Music by Paul Roessler, read by Gitane DeMone for Athens, Greece.